Okay, welcome to the online classes. Yeah, today I am going to solve the question number 1, and here is inclined plane. Angle between them is theta is given, and here also theta, it will also be theta, and this mass is given as 10 kg. So I am writing m equals to 10 kg. Now next thing, what is given? Another thing, we know mass is given 10 kg, and it will be also mg. We know mg will act making some angle with the vertical, so this will be mg cos theta. Okay, mg cos theta. Let me write it down. Mg cos theta, and here should be one value, the component perpendicular to this will be, okay, sorry, I should keep this direction in this way. It should be mg sin theta, sin, it should be mg sin theta. Now reaction or normal reaction should be this r. Now again, read the question. What the question says: the body is moving vertically downward. It means that the body is, let me change ink, and I want to show you the body is moving in this direction. So frictional force always acts opposite to the motion. So this should be the direction of Fr. Frictional force Fr. Okay, now read the question. What the first question says: what is the value of normal reaction? Now see, normal reaction is r. What is the value of r? Now you can tell me. R equals to, see the figure, you can write mg cos theta, because r is this r is hang by this one, mg cos theta, so it should balance mg cos theta. I am not solving all. You can just write the mass value, that is 10 kg is given by the question. Acceleration due to gravity is also, its value is 10, and cos, you should keep cos 30 into cos 30. Cos 30 degrees given, that inclination is given as 30 degree. You can look over here. So cos 30. Now similar way, what the next question says: what is the value and direction of frictional force? Direction of frictional force is opposite to the motion in upward direction. It should be upward, the inclined plane, of the inclined plane of the reason is the body is moving downward, so it should be opposite of the inclined plane of the of the inclined plane. Next thing, okay, next thing, what is the value and direction? Value of frictional force is F equals to mu r. You know that one. F equals to Fr, frictional force, equals to mu r, where mu is the coefficient of friction. We call it as coefficient of friction, and mu value is given as, what is the mu value? Mu value is given, let me change mu value. What is the mu value? Mu value is given here. You can read it. It's the coefficient of friction. Its mu value is given over here, and there is 0.02. Change it, and I have changed its value, equals mu equals to, okay, take this value 0.2. 0.2. So you can use, there is written 0.02. Don't use that value, use 0.2. You will get 0.2. okay, into this value, r value is 10 into 10 into cos 30. Use calculator, you will get the value. Now read the next question. In what is the value of force that drives downward equation? Which value is driving this mass downward? Is mg sin theta. This mg sin theta lies in front downwards, and frictional force is acting upward. So which force drives downward? Uh, F equals to downward force. I am writing this D. Downward force equals to, just write mg sin theta. Just you can see the figure. Put the value of m. Okay, just you can write 10 into 10 into sine 30. You will get this value as 50 Newton. Now second, we have done in what direction the force is more. Yes, if you calculate this fr you will get I guess 17, you will get 17.32. Now 17.32 Newton, you will get this value in fr. Now in which direction the force is more? See, I am making again the figure. Here is a mass, and here is fr, and here is downward force, and this value is 50 Newton. Yes, it is clear from the above exam by calculation, and this value is 17.32. 17.32. Now in which direction the force is more? It means downward direction. Downward direction the force is more. Downward the force is more. Downward direction the force is more. Downward F is more. And now what is the net force? The question is saying what is the net force. It means the downward force is more, than we know F net equals to ma. F net equals to net force equals to you should write 50 Newton downward force minus upward force, and that gives us resultant acceleration or resultant force. 50 minus 17.32, 17.32, this is the net force. Okay, now if the question says find the net acceleration, if you calculate this value you will get 32.68, and net force means ma equals to force net equals to ma equals to just let me change ink. Just solve this one. Just solve this. 50 minus 17.32, you will get 32.68, and we know that m value is 10, so you will get 10 into, okay, you will get here 10 into a equals to 32.68, hence a equals to 3 point, just you will get 27. I am rounding this figure, that's why you get 3.27 right here, meter per second square. Okay, now be ready for the second question. Okay, in question number 2 we have the same figure and angle is also same, everything is same, just here the question says the body is moving upward. So in that case what we believe, we do in the same way. I haven't changed anything, just I'm making. Okay, let me take this pen. Did I got? Yes. Okay, now see here I'm just drawing this all. Okay. uh, okay, in the same case, see, I have made this inclined plane, though it's not like. Okay, now it looks like inclined plane. Now what you can say, and the question difference is just angle equals to 10 kg. Okay, now see, just the question says the body is moving upward, it means that the direction of motion is in this direction. Let me change it and show you direction of motion. The body is moving this side, so obviously frictional force should be the opposite to that motion. This should be direction of frictional force. Okay, now let's solve. The question says find the value of normal reaction. This is the same value acts as a normal reaction. And another question, what is the value and direction of frictional force? The direction should be, direction of frictional force should be downward. D I R, the direction of frictional force Fr, it should be downward, acting downward, because the motion is in upward, so it should act opposite to the motion. So its value is same, mu r, mu value is 0.2 into 10 into 10 into cos 30. You will get this value. Okay, now what is the find the value of total downward force if no external force is applied. It means that total, and mg sin theta also acts downward, this also acts downward. So let me note down. So total downward force, leave this. Okay, total downward force is this also acts downward, and frictional force is also acting downward. So sum of that two force, total force downward, force acting downward equals to uh, mu r plus mg sin theta. Now plug in all those values, you will get the answer. Sin theta, we know sin theta equals to sin 30 degree. You should say 30 degree because it is inclined 30 degree. Okay, let's go down, move down. These are not the solution. Now from here you will get the force. Now what again the question says, what is the value of minimum force and acceleration? It means that the body needs this mu r plus mg sin theta to act downward. Wait. Okay, total downward force is mu r plus mg sin theta. So we believe the same force should be acting upward. That is the minimum force required to move upward. I'm not saying that is the required force, that is the minimum least force that helps the block to move upward. So what you can do is, what is the upward force, what is the value of minimum force? Minimum force is same, this value, copy the same value. Okay, if you need I will okay, clearly this value is equals to 17.32, 17.32 plus, and this value is 50 Newton, and it's easy to add. You will get 67.32. It means that 67.32 Newton should required in the direction of motion. This force should be required so that the block will move upward. And next question, what is the minimum acceleration? It means the upward force also. Upward force equals to also 67.32. 67.32. Now what is the minimum acceleration? Now minimum F equals to ma equals to 67.32. now if you know m value is 10, so 10 into a equals to 67.32. now you will get a equals to now you will get a equals to 6.73 meter per second square. Now we will go on next question. Let us solve this question also in the same way. Reaction is given, mu is 0.8, just write 0.08, make it 0.8, otherwise you will get very small value, and it is moving forward velocity v equals to 20 meter per second. So how do you solve? Weight equals to, weight equals to mg. Now reaction balances the weight because they lie in the same vertically, so r equals to mg. No angle is here, so it is not inclined, so write here mg. M equals to 10 kg, that's why it will be 10.10, it will be 100 newton. 10.10, it will be, multiply it, you will get 100 newton. Reaction is 100 newton. Quite easy question. Now again, what the question says, what is normal reaction? What is the weight? Weight is also 100. Mg equals to 100. Reaction is weight is also 100, and normal reaction is also 100 newton. Now second, what is the frictional force and its direction? And if the body is moving this side, and we obviously have frictional force moving in this direction, so Fr equals to, we know the formula, Fr equals to mu r equals to mu into normal reaction. Now what is the value of mu? I have changed the value of mu and I have made 0.8, so use that value 0.8 let's make point 0.8 into 100, and you are getting 80 is the frictional force. You should say 80 newtons. Okay, I think it is clear till here. I have done 3 questions in the same way, and just the frictional force direction should be opposite to the motion. Now look the another question. Forward force that is needed to move the velocity, uniform velocity. Since it is moving with uniform velocity, the force given by this velocity is 0. Why? Because force generally means change in velocity by time. Change in velocity is 0. So this 20 meter per second does not contribute in terms of force. So this is not contributing in terms of force. So if this body is moving backward by 80 newton, it also should move forward direction 80 newton. It should also have forward 80 newton force, so that it will move in the uniform velocity. So the question is very easy. The forward force is also Fr, forward force, Fw I am writing. Forward force also should be 80 newton, because it should balance and only can move uniformly. Next, what is the power needed? Power equals to force dot velocity, forward force dot velocity into velocity, and it will be 80 into 20, that will be 1600 watt. Now see here, this is a quite easy one. It is pulley 20 Newton force here, 10 kg, and the downward force is 200 Newton. Here also downward force is 100 Newton. It means that we have multiplied 20 into 10 and 10 into 10. We are using mg, and we know mg is acting downward, and that's why. Let me go down. Mg is acting downward, so we got this two value. And let me change it and tick it, and we'll solve this formula using F net equals to ma. Okay, now I am drawing the figure. See here, I am drawing this figure, and its value is 10 Newton, and here is 10 into 10 mg, so 10 into 10. And you know that vertically upward there is a tension in the string, tension. Now as you know that if you have this system, a system like this, and 10 Newton will move upward. Let me go, this 10 kg will go upward and 20 Newton will come downward. So here see, I have made 10 kg, and downward force is 10 to 10 and upward force is tension. Now we assume this body will move upward. Then we obviously say that this tension is greater than 10 into 10. So using this force, what is the force net? We know tension above force is more, so it is moving upward. If above force will be low, it will move downward. So above force is more, so what you can write, tension minus 10 into 10. You can write mg, but just there is 10 kg, so I wrote 10 into 10 equals to ma, means it's also 10 into a, 10a, and I'm saying this as equation 1. And the same scenario is here. Think this mass is 20 kg. Okay, this mass is 20 kg, and downward force it will be 20 into 10, and upward force will be tension. Since upward force is same over here, tension is written over here, upward force is T. And now from this system, this 20 will move downward, so we assume that downward force is more. So net force means 20 into 20 minus T. So let me write it down, 20 into 10 minus T equals to 20. Sorry, let me rub it out. Equals to 20. Now add these two equations, you will get the value of a, and plug in the value of a in any of the equation, you will get the value of t. Just if I add these two equations, just this t and t will be cancelled out, and you will get 200 minus 100, that will be 100. Yes, that will be 100. Okay, and if you add it, it will be 30. You will get 30a. Just a value is 100 by 30. You will get the answer, and just put the value of a in either in equation 1 or equation 2, you can solve it. So just I solved this all the question in very simple way by showing the direction, and F net equals to ma. And here if the body is moving downward, we feel that downward force is more and upward force is less, so we subtract that force, and that is called F net and into ma. Now we are going to deal with this case, and I have just made a simple pendulum over here, and it will move in this way, and the position will be, this will be a, and one should be minus, one should be plus, minus a and a. They are the extreme position, this is the mean position, and the motion is x equals to a sine omega t, where x is we called as here displacement. X we called as displacement, and a is the amplitude, where sine omega t is, omega is the angular velocity. And to solve this question, what the question says, find the velocity, find the acceleration, find the force. The question is saying that. So what we call, we write velocity equals to dx by dt. Sorry, if there is written x, then I should write here x. If they say y, I should say here y. So what is the value of velocity? How do we find? And I should write over here dx by dt. It means totally the questions is related to calculus or your derivative chapter, some derivative chapter in mathematics. So what you can do, now write here x equals to a sin omega t, a sin omega t, a sin omega t. Now what is the derivative of this value? Sin omega t, okay, t. Now x, now you can write velocity equals to dx by dt, dx by dt, dx by dt. Okay, I think it is clear. Dx by dt, or you can write equals to d bracket right here a sin omega t, a sin omega t, a sin omega t by dt. And what is clear from here, a is constant, so it should come outside, so you can write a over here. And what is the derivative of sin omega t? It will be omega also should come, you should actually use chain rule, dA sin omega t by, you should use chain rule, but I should not solve that much. You know a such thing in math, just I am doing for this. Sin omega t by d omega t, into d omega t by dt. Now use your mathematics you have learned in math as such derivatives. Okay, it is good and getting slow. Okay, now here I am writing here a. Now derivative of cos is, sine is cos, so cos omega t, and omega should come from omega t, and just use d omega by dt is omega, so I am writing omega at the first. Okay, from here what you can say, equals to, you can write here a omega. Now use the identity over here, root over, sorry, I should not say root over, yes, root over. Now what is the value of cos omega t? 1 minus sine square omega t, sine square cos omega t. In option math you have done 1 minus sine square omega t, and you can also say this is also the expression. Now we are using manipulating some mathematics. And what is the value of sine omega t? See here, what is the value of sine omega t? Sine omega t equals to x by a. From here you can get sine omega t. Let me change it. Sine omega t equals to sine omega t equals to x by a, Now plugging the same value over here, where x is the displacement, a is the amplitude. Now plugging the same value over here, we'll get a, yes, omega, you'll get 1 minus x square by a square. Just again use LCM, and you will get a omega, and you will get a square a square minus x square and this root over should be here, and also below there will be root over a, also below upon root over a square, you will get a square, and root over a square you can cancel this root this both term. So what is the final expression you will get over a, and now this a and this a will cancels out. So what term you are getting over here is velocity equals to w equals to root over amplitude square minus a square minus x square. This is a required term of velocity. Now the question is also in some angle the question is saying what is the value of kinetic energy. Kinetic energy equals to half, I have written above, kinetic energy equals to half mv square, half mv square. So which term you are getting, half m as it is. Now what is the value of b square? It will be omega square. I'm just squaring this velocity is this one, so square this value, omega square, root over will be cancel out, so you will get a square minus x square. We could solve the value of kinetic energy also by doing till here. Now another question is also there, what is the velocity, state the position for maximum velocity. Okay, let me use my black pen. You got your velocity equals to this term, velocity equals to this term, and it you know at mean position x equals to 0, mean position is this one, mean position means this x equals to 0, and extreme position means x equals to a. So use at mean position. What happens at mean position? Mean position, mean means mean position x equals to 0. Now put those value over there, what you will get about b, or b equals to omega root over a square minus 0 square, or you are just getting omega a. So this is the maximum velocity, this is the maximum velocity, this is the maximum velocity, and the minimum velocity is at the mean at the extreme position. At extreme you will get x equals to a. So put the value over the value of v, what you are getting is v equals to omega root over a square minus a square, that is 0. So at the extreme position velocity is 0, and mean position the velocity maximum, that is omega a, it should be 0. Also the second part we have completed the velocity. The questions you get 2 marks if you do till here, and this and the kinetic energy 1 mark, so we got 3 marks already. And another, what is state the acceleration. Now acceleration I have just see here, what is the how could we could calculate the acceleration. Acceleration equals to dv by dt. Okay, then what we can do, I should write again here, a equals to okay dv by dt, dv by dt, or I can write over here equals to d, make a bracket, and velocity equals to, I know it's a omega cos omega t, cos omega t. Yes, since velocity should be the function of time, so I am putting that value which one is the function of time. Which value, this value of b is not the function of time. This value of b doesn't contains time. So which value consists of time? This value contains time. This value contains time. this is also value of b, and this contains time, so I am using this one, a omega cos omega t. Okay, this should be cos o. Now do the derivative in the same way. A and omega are constant, so it should come ahead, and I am using chain rule. So d cos omega t, d cos omega t, yes, we are using mathematics, by d omega t into d omega by dt, d omega by dt. Actually, while drawing the inference, we are converting in terms of x, but while derivating, we are converting in terms of time, and the function is, we are making the function in terms of time, a omega as it is. Now if you say the derivative of cos, you will get minus sign, so I am writing a minus in the front, and sin omega t, sin omega t. Now it's clear, I hope. And d omega by dt is omega, so you are getting omega square over here, y square. Here also omega t should be here, also should be omega t, so you will get this value minus. Now expression is this one. Now if you manipulate the value of omega, I want to convert t, then you can see over here I have just told that time also omega t equals to x by a. Now plugging those value, what you are getting here, minus a omega square, this should be x by a, yes, x by a. And this, sorry, what happened? Okay, let's go. Okay. Now this a and a will cancel, and you will get minus omega square x. This is the value of acceleration. This is the value of, now see, this is the value of acceleration omega square a. From here it is clear that acceleration is directly proportional to displacement, and they are opposite with each other, so minus, and such type of motion is called periodic motion. You say what is simple harmonic motion? The motion in which the acceleration is directly proportional to displacement, and directions are opposite. So write about the position and the minimum. Now you can say when extreme means x equals to a, extreme means x equals to a, so you will get the value of acceleration. What value you will get? Acceleration equals to acceleration, this a refers to acceleration equals to minus omega square x. So this is the maximum acceleration, and that is at extreme position. And at the mean position, x equals to 0. Mean position means x equals to 0. Mean position x equals to 0. Mean position x equals to 0. So acceleration equals to 0. Since x is 0, we are plotting all those value over here. So acceleration is also equals to 0. And we could do everything from here. And just last questions, what calculate kinetic energy, we calculate it. And what is the value of force? F equals to ma. We have been learning from former class, F equals to ma. And what is the value of a? Plug in those value, and we got F equals to minus, and plugging the value of a, minus m omega square x. And we also say here what we comment here, force is also directly proportional to acceleration. sorry, force is also directly proportional to the displacement, the axis displacement, and they are opposite with each other, minus sign, so opposite with each other. In this way we could solve these questions. And the last questions. Okay. Okay, thank you for today. I will make the another video regarding another numericals and few objective questions. Thank you.